The Hound Pit's pub, hidden alleys. Hidden in an old bar on the river, your new allies have plans to share with you. Meet with the Loyalists' inner circle to learn what they've got in mind.
This is the Hound Pit's pub. Closed for business. Half the district marked off as dead from the plague. We're right under the Lord Regent's nose, and he don't know a thing. Of course, if anyone finds out what we're up to, the Watch will break in with swords drawn. And now that you've escaped, the Lord Regent's going to be tearing the city apart. Take you up to meet Admiral Havelock and the rest of the Loyalists. The Admiral's a man to be reckoned with. If anyone can help you find that missing girl, Lady Emily, and clear your name, he can. I expect they're hard at work in there. Best join them. They'll help you get whoever really killed the Empress.
Starting at last, Admiral. We found our man. Even after 6 months in Cold Ridge Prison, he slipped out like it was nothing.
Yes, not surprising. He was the personal bodyguard of the Empress. We can continue this later, Lord
Taking the
Pendleton.
stuff from over here.
The man of the hour is here. Corvo, I'm Admiral Havelock. A true servant of the Empire, like you. Until the Lord Regent purged those of us who wouldn't recognize his claim on the throne.
And I'm Lord Trevor Pendleton. I represent the nobility in our little group. But we all act as equals here at the Hound Pit's pub.
This is a momentous occasion, Corvo. I'm going to come out with it. We've been building a coalition of loyalists, aimed at ending the Lord Regent's tyranny and restoring the throne.
At risk of execution, we're committed to finding young Lady Emily and seeing her crowned as Empress.
We've got big plans, but we can't do any of it without you. We need your skills, your ability in a fight, and in helping us, we're going to help you destroy the men who murdered the Empress.
Sorry, you must be exhausted. We can discuss this further after you've recovered. But before you retire, you should introduce yourself to Piero. He's challenging at times, but his industrious mind buys him that right.
Alright.
Yes, Piero's as much an artist as a technician. He's going to be crafting the gear you'll need. Go talk to him, and then get some sleep. We can talk more when you've rested. Good to have you with us, Corvo.
Stay alert and stay loyal.
Okay.
Have you talked to Piero yet?
Oh.
He made the
wants
weapons
me to
we
go
left
this
for
way.
you on your way out of Cold Ridge Prison. Go see him.
Now let's get the guy going from this side.
I'll be crafting your weapons and gear. All custom work. For you, I will create the tools of a master assassin. No! This cannot happen now. The tank of whale oil's run out. Will you get a new tank from upstairs, please, while I hold this in place? Be careful. Oil's unstable.
Alright.
When it explodes, there's a terrible mess.
What's in your trunk? Whale vivisection. Excerpt from the notes of a natural philosopher aboard a whaling ship. Remarkably, each specimen I had the pleasure of studying during the voyage possessed some minor variants of physiology. On the second leg of the trip east of Tivia, the crew hauled aboard a female, some 42 inch in length. I estimate she weighed 35 tons, and the ship sat low, rocking side to side through the night with her thrashing. If it's, well, would it be 42 inches or 42 feet? Whatever. By candlelight, I took her apart, sketching, and taking notes. Against her bellowing, I cut into the massive tentacles around her mouth. Within, I found row upon row of teeth and baleen running along the upper jaw. Through this broom-like structure, I assume she filtered food from the water that was too small to be chewed. Rail oil processing. Expert from the founder of the Greaves Whale House by Ebenezer Greaves. Out at sea, they secured the beast with hooks, with lines cast from the main ship and from several smaller boats. Buoys keep the whale from diving deep. Once it's caught, a larger hook is driven through the tail, which is used to hoist the creature up through the chute. They moan and bellow for some time as the men get them onto the deck, then lift them into the scaffolding overhead. The ship adjusts its prow and returns to port in Dunwall, where the crew works on the great creature, slicing off the fattiest parts while it still lives. Whale oil refilling station. Sokolov no longer has the upper hand with regard to supplies of whale oil. The good admiral has paid for the installation of my own system, which enables me to work in this place. The oil tank dispenser, when activated, will produce an empty vessel for filling. When the empty tank is held near the oil tank refill pump, the magnetic abstractor should take the tank and lock it in with the correct configuration. Using the lever will begin the refilling process. Once refilling is completed, the tank can be removed and placed in service. Extreme caution must be used when handling the full tanks. They are quite unstable. The system is sound and well engineered. It appears that the Greaves Oil Company has done something correctly for once.
The Academy teaches that absurd idea that the energy in whale oil arises from the need to maintain life functions at extreme ocean depths. The pressure and the cold are too much to endure without it. I speculate that a human being might, by a process of adaptation, produce high-energy humors in the body. I could build a tank that would slowly increase pressure on a subject over a long period of time and then observe them for years if need be to see if the formulation of energetic substances develop. Surely the Empress would be able to furnish me with facilities subject to the necessary legal amnesty.
Alright. I should throw this.
Perfect. Now
Just to
plug
see
it
what
in.
would happen. It's okay.
Just perfect. Thank you, Cole. Here, see? The assassin's mask. You're a wanted man, so everyone in the city knows your face, but this mask will mean terror to them. If you just hold still, the fit must be precise. There. Can you see normally? And the lens out of alignment. There. Better now? I could create more for you. Upgrades for your gear, weapons, munitions. But our situation here is desperate. Scavenge the city for valuables and I will resell them on the black market. That should give us the money to craft the things you need. Tell me what I can make.
Alright. Yeah, let's have a look. Sleep bolt, bullet, spring razor, Turn security systems to your advantage. Consumed on usage. More bolts. I got 6 out of 10 bolts. What about upgrades? To magnify your view. Okay. Capacities. I'll take the zooming in.
You must be exhausted. I advise that you get some sleep. Your life will get even more difficult soon. You should rest while you can. Very well. You know best. Let me know if you need anything more.
Alright. I want to put this back. Oh, a new one's filling up. Figure that's probably the best thing to do. Second solution. Excerpt from a series of newspaper articles from prominent natural philosophers by Pierre Joplin. It is through no fault of my own that the overage citizen has expressed a preference for Sokolov's elixir over my own formula, sold as Piero's remedy, a name I did not choose if you must know the truth. The public has spoken its unusual message of idiocy, spending their coin as a means of selecting Sokolov's formula over mine, which I believe to be equal if not superior. Much has been made over the popularity of these concoctions as a means of resisting this remarkable new plague. I say remarkable because this strain works with an efficiency we have not seen in the history of the Empire. This plague, now making its way through the city of Dunwall, is unrivaled in its effectiveness. I have studied it within the blood of those so afflicted and it is nearly perfect. Elegant, in fact. And while it is true that Pierre's remedy and Sokolov's elixir are known to protect the body amongst the plague equally, my own has properties not fully understood which relate to the mind itself and the spirit, and it is this way that my formula wins out. Here is where one should pay attention to this contest, for you see, Sokolov's elixir, with its emphasis on the brute animal body, is a crass goo, better suited for livestock. The subtle and secret variants in the key ingredients making up Piero's remedy ensure that it works on the higher functions that separate humankind from the mindless, blood-jawed hagfish swimming in the Wrenhaven River. Piero's request is denied. Piero, no, I will not sign off on these purchases. A bag of powdered crystal, Tivian ore, what's wrong with the metals in Gristol? King Sparrow feathers? If you need feathers, sacrifice your own pillow. Maybe at the academy everything you needed was paid for by tariff and handed out willy-nilly, but this is my bar, or what's left of it, and we're operating on a budget. We're running low on oil, food, elixir, building materials, and everything else, so you've got to slow down. While I'm footing the bill, I will not approve your purchases unless they're absolutely required. No more copper wire or special herbs. If you need those things, go out and scavenge them. Half the city is in ruins, so no one is going to miss any of the that odd crap you seem to need. Admiral Havelock.
How did that happen?
Head upstairs now, if I can find it.
River traffic is forbidden from landing in the distillery district due to risk of infectious contact. Violators will be taken to the flooded district for treatment and rehabilitation.
Ah, there's the stairs. There's a basement. Processed whale oil down here. Alright.
Yes, very much so, but no need to fear. He is here to work with our masters.
People say he killed the Empress.
Of course he didn't. People are foolish and believe whatever they're told.
Okay. If the Admiral trusts him, then so will I. The Admiral served in the Navy under the Empress. But something happened with the Lord Regent that drove the Admiral out. If I understand it right.
Please follow me to your quarters.
Okay. Didn't know you were leading me there. I was kind of just walking there on my own. Why is the third floor blocked off? Must be something on the third floor someone doesn't want revealed.
This is your room. It was chosen to give you privacy. I understand you'll need your rest.
All right. I'll go to sleep. Somewhere else. Am I dreaming?
Hello, Corvo. Your life has taken a turn, has it not? The Empress is dead. Her precious daughter Emily is lost somewhere in the city, and you will play a pivotal role in the days to come. For this, I have chosen you and drawn you into the void. I am the outsider, and this is my mark. There are forces in the world and beyond the world, great forces that we can call magic. And now, these forces will serve your will. Use this newfound power, my gift to you. Come find me.
Left trigger to execute a fast and stealthy forward dash through the world. You can also use it to move off-board. Okay. Cool. Teleportation. Emily's letter. Corvo, I am very sad. They say that you're dead like Mother, but I'm going to put this note in a bottle and throw it in the river because I do not believe them. Living here is very strange. I do not like it, so please come find me if you can.
Days that follow, your trials will be great, Corvo. Seek the ancient runes bearing my mark in the lonely places of your world, and at shrines raised in my name. These runes will grant you powers beyond those of other men. To help you find runes, I give you this, the heart of a living thing, molded by my hands. With this heart, you will hear many secrets, and it will guide you toward my runes, no matter how they may be hidden. Listen to the heart now, and find another rune.
Heart will whisper secrets if you press left trigger while targeting a person or location.
This place is the end of all things, and the beginning. All of time's meaning is here. Neither seconds, nor centuries. Someday this place will devour all the lights in the sky. The one who walks here is all things. Cradle songs of comfort and bones gnawed by teeth. This is the place from which those who dabble in black arts draw their power. In this place is their doom. I can feel the great age ending. This place is the end of all things, and the beginning. All of time's meaning is here. Neither seconds, nor centuries. Someday this place will devour all the lights in the sky.
Just pointed at people as well to reveal secrets.
The one who walks here is all things. Cradle songs of comfort and dreams gnawed by teeth.
Collected some runes, open the journal, and go to the power section to exchange them for powers. Runes can be collected and used to acquire supernatural powers. Dark fiction. Things through solid walls. You can also see their field of view as well as a visual representation of the sounds you make. Level 2 shows you important items through walls. Okay.
How you use what I have given you falls upon you, as it has to the others before you. And now I return you to your world, but know that I will be watching with great interest.
A reminder to all citizens, inspect your neighbor's faces closely. If there is any sign of blood on the eyelids or cheeks, you must notify one of the city watch. An early stage of...
Somewhere in the basements below, hound kills hound, and money changes hands. Such laughter, and they're singing the old songs, linking arms. But that was from a happier time.
The Journal of Granny Rags. Excerpt from the ramblings of a street denizen. Of course, I'll tell you, dearie. I won't keep any secrets from you in the end. All the dreary days of my life are like the windows of a house. From the kitchen I can see out into the garden where the leaves and stalks are brown and bug-eaten. You can see a little lump of dirt where something was wrapped in a blanket and laid to rest along the rows of twisting vines. The front room looks out into the street where the neighbors are setting fire to their homes, barricading themselves inside, warm and snug, dearie. Don't forget about the bedroom either. It sees into a dreary alley where hooligans are playing a game with an old man. The first two are hitting him with sticks, and the girl with them is kicking at his dry old ribs. Oh, to have those bones, to boil them in a pot. No one lives in my house anymore, dearie. No one you'd want to meet. When I lived there with my husband, we were fine people. Vara Morai, everyone would say. Your house is as grand as Boyle Manor. Better even. Your dinners are lavish and your parties are the best. When that young Sokolov came to paint my portrait, I was nearly still in my prime. Radiant, he said, and he was just barely a man, so young, painting all the best people across the land. Everyone wanted a portrait by his hand, all my friends. I was the only one, dearie, wet with his paint, glistening on the canvas for a pretty coin. But it wasn't all parties and paintings. My husband and I weren't always home, no. We traveled together, he and I, to the far ends of the Isles, beyond even all the way to the red cliffs of Pandizia, to dig in the rock and crawl through the caves, holding up candles and squinting at the walls. Many precious things we came upon, but none so precious as the boy with black eyes, dearie. All those marks and bones carved so deep and polished so bright. I brought the old bones home, hid them from my dear husband. Then I learned to boil them and carve them myself. They made such good presents, dearie. The little mute boy took them home. He loved them so. All the time he came back with new bones for me, holding them up so I could see it in his eyes, even though his tongue was still. Granny, his eyes would say to me, carve these bones for me, make me another present, and he went so far, all the way to Dunwall Tower, the royal headsman himself now. My little mute boy and his shiny sword. Better bones were what I needed, you see. Better bones to carve and polish, scrape and gleam. My dear old husband was always tired. I made him some soup, and then he was sick. Better bones was all for my little mute boy, carved in the name of the one with black eyes. And after my husband was gone, given away as birthday gifts, I didn't want to live there anymore. So now I'm old and don't have many to give my presents to. It's sifting through the garbage for granny rags and feeding these little birdies that gather at my feet. No one wants to have tea, dearie, especially those rude louts on Bottle Street. Slackjaw and his boys, always meddling with an old woman just trying to make her way. In the end, we'll be together with him, you and me, in the dreary night, with stars above and below, and always the one with the black eyes, dearie. Alright. She's talking about the mystery man. Field Survey notes the Royal Spy, excerpt from the personal memoirs of Hiram Burroughs, dated several years earlier. This is the 4th day, month of high cold. Progress continues on the suppression of gang activity in the Distillery District, but more slowly than I'd expected. The ruffians operating there have been cunning, I'll grant them that, but it's only a matter of time. I'll see their leaders flogged in public and sent beneath the royal executioner's blade. If I had my way, that mute bastard would be working night and day, removing the heads that need removing. Internally, the Empress does not seem pleased with my investigations. It seems that it is beyond her thinking, against her very nature as a trusting person, to believe that traitors move among us, but I know that they do. They must. Jessamine would rather spend her time with the Royal Protector. At least he's likely to stop any immediate threat to her safety, but a strong arm is not what's needed against those who would undermine us. How will Corvo's sword stop a poisoned wine glass or an explosive delivered by courier? It will not. There are many threats around us, threats requiring meticulous efforts to police. Young Lady Emily is undisciplined, I'm afraid. here within Dunwall Tower. She receives instruction from the finest tutors known to the Isles, yet her mother spoils her and she spends most of her time lost in imagination, wasting her time drawing and asking Corvo to teach her to fight with wooden sticks. The girl might rule the Empire someday. Every moment spent at play is a moment wasted. Shoring up security for the main gate leading into Dunwall Tower has been another pet project of late. To think that back in his day, Emperor Caldwin left it open to the public during the day, allowing anyone to come and go as they pleased. If it were up to me, I'd seal off access to the streets entirely, but the Empress won't hear of it. The water lock is much easier to protect, and if it were the only way to the tower, traffic in and out would be greatly reduced. Someday the wrong person is going to slip in and will suffer for it. Mark my words, no amount of security is excessive when it comes to protecting heads of state. The Empress also disapproves of my plans for the Sokolov devices. Sokolov himself has no interest in security, of course, but he's vain and therefore keen to see his inventions deployed in any fashion. This wall of light he's been tinkering with has promise. In any case, at least I was able to convince the Empress to upgrade the pistols carried by the officers of the watch. Why do I worry so when no one else seems to care? If I ever fall asleep, will it all sink into the ocean? Will the rough things clamber over the walls and fill themselves on our flesh? This is what I see in the same dream several times each month. If only I had more say in things, more authority, I could protect us all. Perhaps I have been working too hard. Dinner and an evening of conversation with a certain lady of refinement might be in order. Perhaps somewhere nice in the estate district. Hiram Burroughs, Royal Spy Master. Rumors and sightings. Dodd. Excerpt from an Overseer's Covert Field Report. For over a year now I have lived away in the Abbey, without the company of my overseer brethren, or the guidance of the blind sisters of the oracular order. Days have passed with me sleeping in the dens of cut-purses murderers and worse, and the nights have seen me prowling through the worst alleys and wretched corners of Dunwall. I have taken my meals with killers. At times I have ventured beyond the city walls, meeting in forgotten graveyards and the outlying ruins frequented by those of ill means. My beard has grown long, and I wear the wretched clothing and bits of boiled leather favored by the Bottle Street and Hatter gangs, and by those rough men and women who make their trade knifing others in return for coin. My hands have run red with blood, it's true, but I have selected my targets with care, choosing among those criminals and heretics who were not fit to live, executing them justly and using their deaths as a means of building my reputation. So for this trick has allowed me to make my name among the murderers' colleagues without taking the lives of the innocent. My goal is singular. I must impress the assassin named Dodd in order to get close to him. Of all the practitioners of black magic we have tracked, none concern the Abbey as much as Dodd. It is said that his mother was a witch from one of the archipelagos off the Pandesian coast, taken captive by pirates venturing far from the Isles. According to the legend, by the time the ship returned, the captain was dead and the witch controlled the crew, with Dodd still a shadow in her belly. The earliest stories tell of a gang killer without mercy, moving among the shopkeepers and city watch officers of Dunwall like a reaper through the wheat. Then a period of silence followed, years we now believe he spent traveling the Isles, studying anatomy and the occult in the great halls of learning and in hidden basements frequented by fellow dabblers of the forbidden arts. Dodd is even purported to have spent a winter in the Academy of Natural Philosophy itself, and for a time before a schism developed, he counted the Brigmore witches among his allies. All the while, he honed his craft, and it is during this time that we believe he began to consort with the outsider. New reports emerged of a dusky-skinned assassin paid by the elite to eliminate their rivals in Dunwall and in the other major cities across the Isles. Those who saw him and lived numbered in the handful, but all of them reported something strange. He appeared and vanished like smoke. From a nearby rooftop he gestured, and a noble woman stumbled from her balcony, falling to her doom on the cobblestone below. Most recently, as this new threat of plague has risen in Dunwall, Dodd has been seen leading a gang of men in dark leather, dressed as factory whalers in their vapor masks. They seem loyal beyond comprehension for one so unworthy, leading me to wonder if some of his magic is dedicated to lulling their minds, enslaving them. Only a month ago, one young girl claims to have come upon this strange scene. Carrying a bottle of milk home to her crippled brother, she was taking a shortcut through the Taylor's district. In a narrow street, she passed beneath a window and heard unusual sounds from within. Pushing aside the ratty curtain, the girl saw into an abandoned apartment. Used this miscreants for gambling and trading haberweed. An occult shrine has been erected against the far wall, which she recognized from the teachings given by her local overseer. A man she described as resembling Dodd was kneeling before the shrine, muttering to an unseen spirit as if in argument. He took a carving made of pale bone from the altar before him, and the lights all went out in a gush of unclean wind. Quiet as a field mouse, she slipped away, running until she reached her home. There can be no doubt, Dodd is an agent of the outsider and must die, for there is no limit to the evil this man might do. This is my solemn oath and the great purpose of my life. Until Dodd is dead and his corruption has been purged from the world, I will continue to move among the depraved, winding my way toward him. I will not drop my guise or don my overseer's mask again until Dodd breathes no more. Alright. There's a rune over this way.
Deals are made here, sometimes under the influence of wine, and sometimes the influence is the point of a knife.
Ouch.
Before the sun rises, they toss any casualties into the river, men or hound. They all go in.
Got 1 rune. That costs 2 runes. Oh, this costs 1 rune. Vitality and a consumption, none. Health regeneration is improved. You have an extended health bar. At level 2, you regenerate more health faster. Alright. Wasn't extended by too much, but it's extended, so.
They top off the line with river water, but eventually someone swoons. Then fresh bottles are fetched from the cellars.
Let's talk to Admiral Havelock now.
He can't sleep in regular beds anymore, but that's what...
Well, let's get down to it. First off, I know that assassination is dark business, but sometimes good men have to do bad things to make the world right. Our purpose is clear. We want to restore Her Majesty's line by finding and putting Emily Kaldwin on the throne. To those ends, we'll hide, act in shadow, take them apart, piece by piece. Tonight, High Overseer Campbell dies by your hand. It won't be easy. He's protected by his overseers, an army of religious zealots. But if anyone can do it, you can. Your exploits are legendary. Campbell carries a private journal. Once you've eliminated him, get the journal, because we think it contains Emily's location. Recovering her is obviously critical, assuming she's alive. That's the gist of it. Remember our cause and strike true. We're counting on you. Another thing. Campbell is holding a former overseer.
Alright. The Exquisite Tall Boy. Excerpt from a letter of public concern by anonymous authors. What you've read here is the truth, regardless of what you will hear from the authorities who rule over us. It is not a matter of coincidence that the former royal spymaster is the one who stepped in when the late Empress fell. We, who will remain nameless, believe that these events are interconnected. The signs of oppression are all around us. The Sokolov designs, originally intended to provide light and warmth in our homes, have been turned against us as a means of inspiring fear and controlling our movement through the city. And where did this plague originate? Some say it was imported. A wild theory, perhaps. One of our members risked her life to obtain an internal report from the government, which we will be printing and sharing soon, called The Exquisite Tall Boy, extolling the virtues of this newest member of the City Watch. To those in the streets below, these virtues are horrors, spreading by stilted thugs who rain down fire on the sick and the poor. To these eyes, the Tall Boy is another government bully, armed with incendiary devices, thickly armored and standing high overhead, looking down at the common people of the city. We now know that the Tall Boys are heavily drugged, imbibing a substance that renders them resistant to pain, but also dulls whatever empathy they might normally possess. Exquisite? We think not. Copy these words and share them with your neighbors, and remember, when the tides are lowest, the truth will be revealed.
He's one of us, and if you manage to find him, give him whatever help you can. He's a master strategist, and he got caught...
Corvo. Hello. I'm Callista. I work here for Admiral Havelock. I'm sorry to intrude on your business, but this is important. I suspect you're going to kill the High Overseer. That wretched man. There's really no reason for you to listen to me. But my uncle, Jeff Kernow, still serves as captain in the City Watch. But he's a good man, and my only family. The chatter in servant circles is that Campbell just took delivery of an exotic poison. And I think I know why. My uncle's not corruptible like the rest of them. Campbell is going to poison my uncle. Do you think you could protect him? You used to do that, right? Before you had your current profession. Before you became an assassin.
Spare Captain Carno. Alright, I can try.
Just wondering, sir, if you thought about perhaps seeing Piero before venturing into the Overseer's nest. I'd recommend going with the best gear you can get together.
Alright.
What can I do for you?
Let's see what I can do for upgrades and equipment. Oh, he'll sell me runes too. I'll upgrade the sword. I definitely want to buy some runes. Capacity. Bulk capacity. Okay. Oh, I can activate 7 at a time. Wind speed. It's more often with arrows and bolts. Drop assassination gives you a bit of health. Take that. Breathe capacity in water. Breaking glass sound is moderately reduced. Moderate keyhole peeping magnified. Win sword versus sword contest more frequently. That's good. Powers effects slightly improved. White rats can be consumed for mana. Oh, jeez. White rats run attack you, and I can feed off them. I'll do both. That's from explosive slightly reduced. And I'll just increase swim speed. Alright. All seems good for now.
Ready to go? Just give the signal.
Let's go then. High Overseer Campbell leads the city's militant religious faction and is a close ally to the Lord Regent. Campbell is completely corrupt and holds the secret to Emily's location. Infiltrate the office of High Overseer, steal Campbell's journal, and eliminate him. An ally to the Loyalists, Martin is being held there. Free him and allow him to escape.
It'll be a rough trip. Used to be to go straight up Clavering Boulevard, but now it's not so easy. Half the city's dead of the plague. The other half's fighting over what's left. City Watch still holds the bigger streets, and they've set up those wall of light checkpoints. A man walks through one of those, and he ends up burned to a crisp. Everything not controlled by the City Watch is gang territory. And there are the real odd birds living on the fringes, like that Granny Rags. They say she's nuts. Don't know which is worse. Just take your pick.